Well, what's going on to the hustlers out there? Welcome back to the Hustle Sports Fantasy Podcast. Well, y'all already know you sleep, you beat. I'm T Will. Week 10 was unpredictable. Y'all know we had some blowouts, some comebacks, a few weird fantasy finishes that flip leagues upside down. Y'all know how it go though. Fantasy weird like that, unpredictable. So y'all already know how it go. We got a packed show. We're gonna talk about the top performers, waiver wire scoops, our start sit situation, the risk of the bench segment of the show, the under the shell lock pick, and the hustler's energy lock pick of the week. Hey, make sure y'all follow us on Instagram, Facebook, uh, at the Hustle Sports Network, and also on YouTube, and as well as on Twitter, X formerly known as Twitter at the Hustle Sports Net. Hey, what's going on with your fantasy, Ray? How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. Holding out, trying to see if I'm gonna pull it out on this Monday night game. I took a crazy risk this week throwing Trey Tucker in the lineup. Didn't even have to do that to myself, but so now it's coming down to the wire to see if I can pull it out. But how you doing?
Everything good. I had a dub in all three of my leagues, so I ain't gonna lie. I got a beautiful Monday going right now. I ain't even tripping.
Appreciate you throwing that in my face.
Oh yeah, you know how it goes. Hey, when you feeling good, feeling great, feeling good. How you?
Well, before we get into it, y'all make sure y'all hit the subscribe button on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify. Follow at the Hustle Sports Fantasy Podcast, and don't forget to drop your start sits in the comments. I got y'all. I'm gonna make sure y'all right. I'm gonna make sure y'all don't play Trey Tucker in your lineup this week.
Hey, well look, Fantasy Ray gonna help y'all not make some take some crazy risks that y'all need to take coming into week 11. It's getting ready to, shape up for playoff time right now though. So, right now every dub count, every game count. So with that, we're gonna keep it pushing. So the top performers from week 10, that help make all them games count. Jonathan Taylor. You know what I'm saying? That boy had 49.6 fantasy points, 32 carries, 244, three TDs, three catches for 42 yards. That was the early game in Berlin, too. That boy went crazy. I had him in my one of my leagues. You know what I'm saying? He had a good day for me. Uh, I got to throw it out there that did come against Fantasy Ray. I got the dub in the Gridiron Gang League. So, yeah,
Let
no.
me just say this. I'm gonna start posting my roster for the Hustlers. I really like that.
Yeah.
My team
Hey,
scored 159 points, and I still took a L because of Jonathan Taylor.
because of
So don't
Jonathan
think
Taylor.
he just mocked me because my team ain't good. I just keep running into these crazy performances like this. It ain't my year in that league. As stacked as I am, I just keep coming into these situations that's dropping me.
Yeah, as you know in fantasy, if you got one guy like what Jonathan Taylor doing this year, you going crazy.
Yeah, that's
But
ridiculous.
this your guy. This your guy. He was the top receiver again, 2 weeks in a row. Drake London for the Falcons had 24.4 fantasy points, 6 catches, 104 yards, and a TD. He been
Right.
going crazy.
He
Yeah.
hooping.
Penix don't look for nobody else either, son.
That's my kind of quarterback. In the words of T.O., that's my quarterback.
That's my quarterback.
Uh, yeah, Drake holding it down. I'm gonna touch on Drake London later in the episode, but yeah, shout out to Drake London, man. I appreciate
Hey, he got a shot though at the QB, the top scoring QB,
you.
2.4% rostered, 30.6 fantasy points. Davis Mills had to come back on the Jaguars, finish the game with 292, two tutties, a pick. He had 3 rushes for 20 yards and then got a tutty that way too on the ground. Hey, that I thought Davis Mills was straight before that grab Stroud, but I understand why you take Stroud. But Davis Mills had a day yesterday.
Boy, did he? And which one is more surprising to you? The fact that he had 30 fantasy points, or the fact that he 2.4% rostered? I'm like, how you not 0% roster? You gotta live in Houston if you put Davis
Somebody,
on your roster.
somebody had, or you could be dealing with injuries, and it's just you just at that point in your season, and you saw Davis Mills, and you're like, hey, this is a good option right here.
But if that's your option, you gotta be like 0-8, 0-9. You got it gotta be pretty much over for you if you gotta
Yeah,
put Davis Mills on your roster. So,
yeah,
but shout out to you if you played him.
yeah, yeah. Davis Mills did his thing. He was a top scoring quarterback. Trey McBride, I had this guy last season. He like that. 27.7 fantasy points, 9 catches, 127 yards, 1 TD. Ain't much to say about that. He do his thing. And then the last top scorer, the Seattle defense, 22 points allowed, 2 fumble recoveries, 2 TDs, 5 sacks. They had a day on Arizona.
So I just want to touch McBride real quick. We talk about this sometimes with receivers, but never tight end. Is McBride quarterback proof?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, McBride is QB proof, son. Long as they semi-accurate and they get him the ball, he QB proof.
Yeah, I think out of all the tight ends in the league for the foreseeable future, he bought the only one I think is worth taking in the second round.
Yeah, I fought against it this year, but you're right. This 2 years in a row. And then he came on late 2 years ago or 3 years ago. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, he worth that second. He worth that second.
Mm-hmm.
So as we know, he worth that second. Seattle defense, top scoring defense. Right now it's Monday night. Philadelphia Eagles and the Green Bay Packers playing on Monday night on ESPN, ABC. Last I saw, Philly was up 3-0. Okay, yeah, Philly up 3-0, 2:32 left in the third. It's an ugly game right now. We're gonna try to keep y'all posted as much as we can though on that score. Uh, so I went over the top performers that I had. Was there anybody that you had on your list that was a top performer that wasn't listed here?
Um, you know, I don't know if anybody really jumped out to me. Outside of my favorite quarterback, Jackson Dart, who was on his way to an epic day until unfortunately he took a hit. I saw something today on Twitter that said that he's taken 77 hits since taking over as a starting quarterback. But he left that game at the end of the third quarter, and he still finished with 28 fantasy points, 2 rushing touchdowns. So, man, Jackson Dart has been just a crazy pickup for you this year, and clearly the best rookie quarterback in the draft class.
I feel like I seen all 77 of those hits. I ain't even gonna lie to you.
Yeah.
Every time I watch the Giants, I see him get popped one time. You know what I'm saying? So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I can see he taking a lot of hits. I hope he protect himself. But yeah, you was able to scoop him in the league, right? So he holding you down.
For sure.
Yeah. Yeah. Now that was a good scoop, Jackson Dart. We see it. He got the swag. He hold it down. He look like he nice. Uh, so yeah, that's always a good play. My surprise usage guy, or my surprise usage guy was Mac Hollins. 6 catches, 10 targets, 106 yards. 2 weeks in a row, he did led the team with snap counts for the Patriots. He averaging about 71% snap count. So that was my surprise usage guy for week 10. So as we know, that Patriots room kind of loaded. So I'm gonna come to you. What you think of that?
Well, so Jackson Dart was my surprise top performer, but my surprise usage guy, like you just mentioned, he in New England too. Kyle Williams.
Okay.
Kyle Williams pulled out them afterburners. I didn't know he could move like that.
Yeah.
I'm like, man, this dude is fast. And he played 56% of the snaps. Obviously Mac Hollins led the way with that with 71%, which that was shocking in itself. But Stephon Diggs only played 59% of the snaps. So
Mm-hmm.
kind of right there with him is Kyle Williams. And they mentioned that they wanted to kind of use him more, that his usage will be up. And even though he only had one reception, it's for a 72-yard touchdown. So I think going forward, we're probably going to see a lot more Kyle Williams. And we saw Pop Douglas only played 11% of the snaps. So he might have overtaken Pop Douglas as the third receiver, and he could be coming for the number 2 receiver spot real soon.
That's a good point because I saw he overtook Pop in like the last 2 weeks. So they clearly like Kyle Williams and they want to get him going. My surprise usage spike was Mac Hollins. Fantasy Ray Rays was Kyle Williams. Both from that Patriot offense. We saw what Drake May doing. We see what he's doing. He's an MVP candidate, look like right now. So if you got him in fantasy, you're probably having a good year. So before we keep it moving to the waiver wire scoop, we got the injury recap. Unfortunately, it's part of the game, but we got to touch on it and make sure y'all prepare for them fantasy lineups. Jackson Dart, as Fantasy Ray mentioned, he left the game against the Chicago Bears yesterday. He got a concussion. We'll keep y'all posted on if he gonna play this upcoming Sunday. As y'all, I don't know if y'all saw, but Brian Daboll got fired today. We hate to hear people losing their job, but he had some unfortunate circumstances, some bad injuries that probably led to that being 2-8. But so Jackson Dart, we'll keep y'all posted on if he's gonna play in Week 11. Garrett Wilson. Saw today he was announced that he gonna be out 3 to 4 weeks. He had a knee injury yesterday against Cleveland, so he probably gonna be out. He probably droppable at this point, but tread lightly. If you still trust the value, still trust that he gonna do his thing, then you might want to, if you got the space, maybe can hold on to him. Who knows? Devontae Adams popped up today with an oblique injury. I don't know. He tough as they come. We'll see if he play. Like I say, we're going to keep y'all posted on our Twitter with everybody who healthy enough to play in Week 11. Geno Smith got hurt. We saw that in Thursday night. He got hurt with the quad, couldn't move that good. So we're going to keep y'all posted on that. J.K. Dobbins got a foot injury. Supposed to be getting a second opinion. So we'll see. Maybe stock up on R.J. Harvin. Chris Rodriguez popped up with a shoulder injury. We'll see what that's looking like. I haven't seen anything about him missing time, but we like I say, we'll keep y'all posted. Terrell Jennings had a knee injury. I did see what he was listed as day-to-day, so that may change the stock on Ramondre or Travion coming forward. But like I say, we'll keep y'all posted. And then Torrey Horton, growing injury. As y'all know, Seattle just traded for Shaheed, so you may want to tread lightly on Torrey Horton. You may, if you need to stream him, he may be a good guy, but who knows? Marvin Mills also got a concussion, and Rondé Gaston got a knee injury, and we'll keep y'all posted on those injuries going forward. Any thoughts on any of those injuries that I listed there, Ray Ray?
Well, Terrell Jennings, I think Travion Henderson just ended Terrell Jennings' run,
Okay.
especially with him being out, Ramondre possibly coming back at some point. I think it might be Travion job going forward. Chris Rodriguez, I don't know how serious that is, but I don't think that's nothing extremely major. I'm actually a Garrett Wilson owner, and I'm heavily considering dropping him. We know Justin Fields threw for 54 yards yesterday. And so even if Garrett Wilson plays, I don't think he's playable. So, as much as we love Garrett Wilson, we know what he is when he plays. If they can't get him the football, you got him on your roster, or you even willing to put him in your lineup. So if there's somebody out there like a Jawan Jennings or something like that that you could still swoop up on your waivers, I would definitely look to make a move like that. And then a Rondé Gaston, we got to see how serious that knee injury is. But that's something to monitor going forward. He looked like he was going to be a breakout candidate. You might have to pivot on tight end if he kind of came in to save you.
That's some good points. And like I said, we're going to keep y'all posted on those injuries. And if they're going to miss any time going forward, just check our X page, our X profile at Hustle Sports Network, or Hustle Sports Net, excuse me. So we're going to keep it moving to the waiver wire scoop. But before we get into that, the two teams that's on bye for week 11 is the Indianapolis Colts. They took that L to Atlanta in Germany. No, I'm sorry. They won against Atlanta in Germany. That's what Jonathan Taylor had the 244 on. And then my Saints, they held it down. They came to Carolina. Tyler Shook looked all right. He looked like he might, yeah, he looked like he might have some juice to him, but that's what the fantasy
Juice.
some juice. So yeah, them the two squads that's on bye this week for week 11. So as we know, week 10 gave us some emerging names, you know what I'm saying? But it's time to cut that bait. So we're gonna keep it pushing to the waiver wire scoop. Fantasy Ray, who's your waiver wire scoop for week 11?
We kind of gave a preview to my waiver wire scoop. The guy I have up here first is Tyler Shook. You said he looked all right. I thought he looked great. 19 to 27, 282 yards and 2 touchdowns. He nearly doubled his total passing yards from the first 3 games. So I think Shook is just, this is just the tip of the iceberg for him. He was my guy in the draft. I thought, man, he looked like an NFL quarterback coming into the draft. So I was kind of shocked when they were saying he didn't look great, coming into New Orleans, but he looked like he's starting to show that pedigree that he had in college. And then my second guy is Tez Johnson. Tez Johnson had 5 targets, caught 4 of them, 42 yards and 2 touchdowns. He got 4 touchdowns in his last 5 games. He's getting 5+ targets a game in 3 straight games. So I think Tez Johnson is a guy that if he's on the waivers and you need him, you got to throw him in there with injuries to Mike Evans, Chris Godwin not looking healthy. Tez might be a guy that you really need to consider.
Tez Johnson and Tyler Shook. We at that point in the season now. Ain't no knock to them though, because Shook had some throws that look great against Carolina. Tez Johnson, we've seen made some tough catches over the last few weeks. So yeah, it's some great picks. Week 11, you talking about you need some help. I like them. Shook, Tez Johnson. Like I said, New Orleans on the bye, so Shook might have to be your guy for week 12. My guy, Romeo Dobbs, 8.5. Dobbs, 8.5 targets over the last 4 weeks, 78% rostered. So a lot of people like this guy, but 22% tells me it's still some opportunities out there in some leagues, and he's happened to be available in our league, our money league.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Green Bay on right now. This is the thing about Green Bay. They offense so hot and cold.
Yeah,
I think a lot of people don't trust. Yeah, but you know what I'm saying? 8.5 targets, the volume there. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, he get the opportunities there for Dobbs. So
yeah, most definitely.
That's my waiver ad.
I like that. You got to chase volume. That's the name of the game. So anytime it's there, you gotta at least roster that guy.
Yeah. No, that's true. My deep stash, I'm gonna jump in here. My deep stash is Andre Iosivas.
I think it's Josevich.
I believe it's Josevich as well. I mentioned him last week on the pod. I'm gonna mention him again. 84% of the snaps. Cincinnati was on a bye this week. He's heavily involved in the offense. Now I know T. Higgins and Jamar Chase, they the 1 and the 2, but he heavily involved in what Cincinnati trying to do. And Flacco liked him. like I say, in week 9, he had 5 catches, 66 yards. In 4 of the last 5 weeks, so from week 4 to week 9, he received 4 or more targets. He was only 0.5% roster going into week 10. So that's my deep stash guy for week 11.
Okay. For deep stash, I got Dalton Schultz. He's ranked tight end 11. He had 10 fantasy points this week. And I mean, he's averaging, 10 fantasy points a game. And he's only rostered in 27% of ESPN leagues. So, if you got a guy like a Rondé Gaston and it does end up being serious, take a look at Dalton Schultz. He's been heating up week over week. So it might be a perfect time to go get a guy like that.
Shaw's getting them targets too.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, I looked at him today. He getting them targets, boy. Hey, he getting. I think I
scoop right now.
what he had. What is it? Week 10. I think they had a bye already. He might have had like 2 games with less than 3 targets, but everything else was like up of 6.
Yeah, he
So
definitely trending in the right direction.
yeah, he getting that work for sure. So yeah, I like that. That's a good deep stash. It's a guy I looked at for sure. Still some moves to come, so I might still mess with him. So the last portion of this waiver wire scoop to help y'all make some room for these players that we telling y'all about. Who your drop candidate, Ray?
Cooper Kupp. Cooper Kupp is my drop candidate. They just got Rashid in the trade. Oh, Shaheed in the trade. His snaps are gonna trend up. His targets are gonna trend up. You still got Torrey Horton there, even though he banged up at the moment. But Kupp is surprisingly rostered in 60% of leagues. He currently ranks wide receiver 56 on the season, only averaging 8.3 fantasy points. You can just find that a lot of other places. You can stream every week and get that kind of production. So if you're still holding on to hope for Cooper Kupp with the way Sam Darnold been playing and how good Seattle look, just give up. It's time to cut bait.
Yeah, I think the way Seattle play too is JSN and is everybody else.
For sure. For sure.
Yeah. Yeah, so Cooper Kupp was Ray's drop candidate. My drop candidate was Garrett Wilson. I mentioned him in the injury recap earlier. Yeah, he out 3 to 4 weeks. I get it. We know the talent. We know who he is. What you think about it? This week 11 we going into. He out 3 to 4 weeks. That puts you at week 15. Now he might come back and bite you in the playoffs. I get it. You might be a little nervous, but by the time, who's to say you're gonna look good come playoff? And do you want to throw that? Do you want to risk that in your
In the
lineup?
playoffs.
Yeah, that's a hard sell. So
I have them. And for me, the only thing that comes to my mind is if I can afford to just play keep away. If I got
just
them,
keep.
I don't play them, but nobody else can get them and play them. But I think it just really depends on your roster. If you got something on the waivers that you could put in the lineup, like you hurting that receiver and you need to grab a Tez Johnson, a Dalton Schultz, Mac Hollins, or Kyle Williams, that's a lot better than waiting 3 to 4 weeks for Garrett Wilson, who already missed a lot of time, could have a setback. And then we just don't know what's happening at quarterback. We just know it ain't been good. So yeah, as much as I hate to do it, I think T Will on to something. Might be time to cut bait.
Hey, and as you saying that, Devontae Smith just caught a TD. So Philly got the shot to go up 10-0 in the fourth quarter with 10:35 left. So it looked like it was about 40 yards or 36 yards. 36 yards.
Wow.
TD catch by Devontae Smith. So that was a crazy play. Yeah, I like that point of keep away because Garrett Wilson good. So if he come back, that's fantasy playoff time. So if he come back and kill you, that'll be pretty tough. So I like the logic behind that. You thinking methodical for the rest of the league, so I get it. So we're gonna keep it moving to our start sit segment. Risk it or bench it. We got some players that play this week. Got some tough matchups or some weird matchups rather going into week 11. So the very first one, Ray, CJ Stroud versus Tennessee, week 11. Risking it or benching it.
So on his face, I'd love to say I'm gonna risk it, right? CJ
Yeah.
Stroud and he'd have been up and down, but he had some pretty good games. But is he gonna play? Do we know he's gonna play? Davis Mills coming off 30 points, a game-winning rush. Why rush? Why rush CJ back? And we know how these coaches in the NFL like to do. They probably won't announce if CJ Stroud is gonna play or not until leading right up to the game. So for me, if I got another option, I'll probably bench it.
All right, cool. I ain't mad at that, but I disagree with it. Assuming CJ gonna play, obviously. Davis Mills definitely bought him some time with the comeback win. I think if you Houston, you probably don't really want to rush him back if he ain't all the way healthy. Even if he 80%, 90%, you don't want to rush CJ back. But assuming he plays, I'm gonna risk it. The Titans got the 17th ranked pass defense. They coming off a decent show. They're coming off a good showing against the Chargers again before the bye. But this is a division game, as we know, division games be tricky. So I'm gonna rock with CJ. So
Okay.
yeah, I'm gonna risk that. I'm gonna risk that. So the next one is Travion Henderson. Right. What you doing? You risking it or you benching it?
All my chips in. Pushing all my chips to the table. I'm
He
risking it.
he against the Jets too. I don't know if I said that. So
Yeah, I'm risking it.
yeah.
I'm risking it. Too explosive, too electric. I think if the opportunities are there, he gonna do well. He kind of in a lot of ways, he kind of give me some Jamar Gibbs vibes to where, man, you give him enough opportunities, you get him out in space, he a problem. He a problem. And I think, some of the things that he wasn't getting early on, pass pro, doing the little things that coaches love to see was keeping him off the field. But I think he blew the lid off last week to where you could see, man, he added another element to the Patriots offense. And with the way Drake May playing, if you got somebody putting up 150 rushing yards and 2 TDs, man, the Patriots might be Super Bowl favorites.
Hey, especially to go into Tampa and do that the way they did. They pretty much they controlled that game, for most of the day. And
Yep.
a big part of that was Travion, that run game. Uh, so yeah, that's a good point. I agree with you on that one. I'm gonna risk that as well. The Jets got the 26th ranked defense, rushing defense. As you like I said about the division games, they're always weird. But I think you made a good point. It's an element to the New England offense that we haven't seen yet, and I definitely think that's worth the risk going forward. I tried to trade for him too a couple times though. Bro ain't want to do no business, but
I tried too. I tried
yeah,
too. So, and this was Trevion wasn't doing nothing. He
yeah.
wouldn't come off him. So that's all we can do is shoot our shot.
Hey, kudos to that man for seeing the vision, for
Mhm.
sure. So the next person, Kamani Vidal. He playing the Jacksonville Jaguars. They actually got the third ranked rush defense. I'm gonna jump in there. I'm gonna bench it. Uh, I'm gonna bench it. I mean, it's crazy. Kamani Vidal been actually looking good though. He looked good last night against Pittsburgh. Who did they play? Tennessee. He looked good against Tennessee. He had moments, but I think Jacksonville. They always play. They always have an ugly game, regardless if the score high or low. They always have an ugly game. Now I know running backs can get off on them, but they, like I said, they got the third ranked rush defense. So I believe Kamani Vidal probably a good bench it candidate this week in week 11. What say you, Fantasy Ray?
I'm benching it. I actually have him in one of our leagues. And I'm gonna just read out some fantasy stats for Vidal. Week 4, 0 fantasy points. Um, and I know, didn't play a lot. Week 5, 2.9. Week 6, 22.8. Week 7, 7.5. Week 8, 19.7. Week 9, 3. Week 10, 17.8. So pretty much every other game,
He a roller coaster.
it's a good game. I am not signing up to get the 5-point dog game next week. If you have a big game, I just gotta miss out on it. But yeah, it's just every other week is it's either horrible or it's good or it's great. And I'm not taking that kind of risk.
That's a
So
great
I'm
point, though. I like that you brought that up. Yeah, he a roller coaster. Uh, Apparently, watching the game, I thought he actually had a decent day. But 3 point, what you say, 3.9 against Tennessee?
3 even.
Three even. Oh yeah, he had a horrible day.
3.0.
Thought he had a decent day. But yeah, so that's a good point. He a roller coaster fantasy. Ray gonna bench that. I agree with him. I'm gonna bench that as well. Kamani Vidal versus Jacksonville Jaguars. We benching that. The next one is Tedoroy McMillan versus the Falcons. As you know, the Falcons got the first ranked pass defense. Bryce coming off 124 against my Saints, 2.8 fantasy points. Boy, done nothing. Done nothing. So what you doing with that? You risking that or you benching that?
I'm benching Ted, and it ain't got nothing to do with Ted. Ted's an amazing receiver. It's because of Bryce Young. A couple weeks ago we saw when Rico went to Dallas and he was doing the shovel, digging the grave, and really we thought that was for the Cowboys. It was really for Bryce. He was digging that grave for Bryce because Bryce is cooked. He is done. They're gonna probably be looking for another quarterback next year. Um, he just can't. He's just not good enough. It's just what it is. I've watched enough Tet running wide open, and the passes are incomplete. They uncatchable. Depending on what they do at quarterback, I will be taking Tet pretty high next year if Bryce is not the quarterback. But as long as he's the quarterback, I got to bench.
Oh, as long as he the quarterback, you benching Ted.
I'm benching Ted. Yeah.
Rest of the way.
Yeah. Yeah. He gonna have some
Oh,
straight games, but I just don't trust that Bryce Young can have a straight game. If your quarterback give me 2.8, no. I mean, at this point, it's kind of the same thing we touched on with Garrett Wilson. Even if he's available, can you trust putting him in your lineup?
yeah.
And that's what I think we had with Ted is he's awesome, but I mean, with the playoffs coming, every win matter, every fantasy point matter. These games so tight, I can't put him in my lineup.
Ah man, I really hate that. I got Ted, and Ted had 11 yesterday. Think about that. He had 11. Bryce Young had 124, and Ted had 5 catches for 60 yards. Like he's so much of their offense. It's hard not to play him, but against Atlanta, I gotta agree with you. I'm benching that. They got the first pass, they got the first ranked defense. I don't trust Bryce Young. And I'm a Bryce fan. I like Bryce. I feel like he show throws, he show flashes. Well, you be like, hey man, this guy, all right. But I think he too little. He can't see over the line. And it shows up in games when he need to be because you ain't gonna be able to flush out every time, right? So when he can't flush out, can he make a play? And it don't look like he can. So yeah, I agree with you. I'm benching Ted.
Yeah, you got to. I think that's the smart play here.
So yeah, we both agreed on benching Ted against the Falcons. This next guy, we talked about him in the injury recap of Rondé Gaston. We don't know how long he's gonna be out. So I'm gonna put you on blast. Put you on blast. Dalton Schultz against the Titans. You risking that or you benching it?
I'm risking it. We talked
Yeah.
about him. He looked great. I've been watching. I live here in Houston, so I've been kind of keeping an eye on the Texans. And Schultz been going. He's been looking good every week. It's not it ain't fluky. You know, if you're looking at the fantasy numbers and doing all, I'm watching the games. Dalton Schultz looked like he back in Dallas with the Cowboys. He looked good, man. So and they look like with those young receivers there and Nico out, they making it a point to make Schultz a focal point. So I'm risking it.
Before I jump into that, real quick, Josh Jacobs just scored a touchdown, so it look like it's going to be 10-7 in this Eagles-Packers game. I don't see how much time left in the fourth, though. Oh, 5:49 left in the fourth, so probably can get a couple more scores for some fantasy implications in the rest of this game. So we'll keep y'all posted as much as we can. So with the Dalton Schultz, I like that. He on a heater right now. I'm gonna risk that as well. Like I say, I think if CJ Stroud play, I still like it. Even if he get better, he get more work when Davis Mills plays. Like Davis Mills really like him. That's one of his favorite targets. So yeah, see, Dalton Schultz against Tennessee in Week 11. I'm gonna agree with you. I'm gonna risk that.
Yeah, I think it's a good move, man. Like I said, if you're watching the games, he's definitely trending up. And you know, he's on the waiver wire column. So
Yeah.
you know, if he's there for you, I think you gotta try to make that happen.
All right, so I got a question for you, real quick. So
Okay.
somebody start Shaheed versus the Rams or Xavier Worthy versus Denver in Week 11?
Oh, to me, you gotta go Shaheed. You know, I
Even
think
though it's the second game in Seattle, still Shaheed.
man, Seattle, I think the last 2 weeks they had like 28 in the first half. That they just going crazy. Offense, defense, everything versus you look at Worthy ever since Rashid Rice has come back, his opportunities have been trending down. So I'd rather take the guy who Rashid played under Kubiak. He's only going to get more snaps. He's only going to get more integrated in that offense. So I'd rather take the guy who's trending up than the guy who's trending down.
Yeah. That's a good point. So Shaheed against the Rams over Xavier Worthy versus Denver. Yeah, so that's a good point. I like that. That's a risk right there I'm willing to take. I trust Sam Darnold. I trust the Seattle offense is looking great right now. So we're going to keep it pushing, though. We're going to keep it moving. So quick question. We're going into this under the shell pick. So let me know, who's your under the shell pick for Week 11?
My under the shell pick. My under the shell pick is Jaden Higgins. Jaden Higgins. Jaden Higgins coming off a 5 reception game for 42 yards and a touchdown. You know, he had a touchdown against San Francisco. You know, he's one of those guys kind of built on the same size as Nico Collins. And I think you're gonna see as the year goes on, he's just gonna keep being a guy that they looking to go to, a guy they looking to feature. We mentioned how they leaning on Dalton Schultz, but I think you're starting to see Higgins kind of get some of that rookie dust off him. And I think he's gonna be a thing for them coming down the stretch.
That's a real under the shell pick right there. Jaden Higgins. I threw him in the lineup about 4 weeks ago. He had a straight day for me. I think he had about 7. I mean, it wasn't the worst. It wasn't the best day, but it was enough. I lost that week though, but it was. he
Yeah,
done
he,
what he.
he getting there slowly but surely. You know,
Yeah,
he kind of remind me a lot of Nico Collins. You know, Nico Collins was a high pick. They had high expectations for him, but he didn't jump out the gate right away. It wasn't
yeah,
until that second year that he kind of was like, "I'm here." You know, but you see Higgins, you know, 2 scores in 3 weeks. Something's brewing.
yeah, yeah. Now that's a real under the shell pick. I like that. For me, I don't know. I mean, based on your pick, I don't even know if this under the shell like that. I picked Larry McConkey against the Jaguars. He started off the year terrible, but I think over the last 4 weeks, you know what I'm saying, he's starting to get more opportunities. think he had 71% of the snaps against Pittsburgh last night, week 10, 4 catches, 107 yards, and a TD. Then Jaguars is 27 ranked pass defense. So I think Herbert one of them roller coaster guys too, but I trust him against a bad team like the Jaguars. So that's my under the shell pick just because of the matchups, the work that Lad McConkey been getting recently. So I like that.
I actually do think that's an under the shell pick. I played you and you had Lad McConkey. And I thought to myself, like they got Gaskins, they got Allen, they got Quentin Johnston. He one of the guys. And so could you trust them? Could you not trust them? And I think what you've actually seen is as the years gone on, and we thought it was Quentin Johnston, then we thought it was Gaskin, and then right under our nose, here comes Ladd being the guy that we thought he was going to be when you drafted him. So I think they say the cream always rise to the top, and I think that's what you're starting to see with Ladd. So I do think that's an under the shell pick because I don't know if people really realize it yet. I think they still kind of like me, like, oh well, maybe not, and it's like, nah, he Ladd.
It's funny, the dude in our friends and family league that dropped him. He dropped him, I think, after week 4. And as we know, after them first 4 weeks, he looked terrible. Like he was unplayable.
Mm-hmm.
And I grabbed him. It's crazy. He sat on the waiver like 2 weeks too. Like I ain't grabbed him right. He sat there like 2 weeks and I grabbed him. He been balling ever since. So I think you're right. He the one that's been, rising up under the radar right in front of our faces the whole time. We thought it was QJ because of his start. But Ladd definitely been playing good, especially recently. So yeah. So that's my under the shell pick. So
okay.
Our next segment. Next we got our Hustlers Energy Lock Pick of the Week. As y'all know, this is where we stand on business, or as my guy Ray say, standing on business.
Yeah, we're standing on business with this one.
So who are you standing on business with?
Well, I talk about him. I've been talking about him weekly because he's on my team. Top 6 wide receiver in fantasy, averaging 19.8 fantasy points a game. It's Drake London. It's Drizzy Drake London.
And you like him against Carolina. You standing on business against Carolina.
Easy money.
Easy money. No.
So just let me just throw this out here. In the last 2 weeks, Drake London has received 22 targets. It's in 2 weeks, 22 targets, 4 touchdowns, 222 yards. I'm not batting an eye when he go to Carolina. JC Horn, buckle up. It's gonna be a long day.
JC, buckle up.
Yeah, it's gonna be a long day. I mean, he did it to Christian Gonzalez. Ate him for lunch. Who did they just see this week?
Who?
Atlanta.
The Falcons?
Yeah,
Colts.
Yeah, so you had Christian Gonzalez couldn't stop him. Sauce Gardner couldn't stop him. Drake is looking unstoppable.
Remember now,
mm-hmm.
Carolina blanked Atlanta early in the year.
Yeah, but Penix done figured out where his toast is buttered. Just throw the ball straight.
Where his toast is buttered.
He figured out where his toast is buttered. That's why you see Drake London with 22 targets over the last 2 weeks, and it's probably going to go to 30 something because he's probably going to get 10 plus targets against Carolina. I'm standing on business with Drake London this week.
Standing on business with Drake London versus Carolina.
Mhm.
I want to root for Carolina. Oh, I ain't buying the hype. I'm with you. I like it. I like it.
What's the Panthers' little mantra? What's that thing? Is it pound
Keep
on or
pounding. Keep. Yeah.
yeah. Keep doing that. Keep doing that because Drake gonna go in there and
Pounding.
ball.
He gonna keep
So
pounding on.
yeah.
All right. Well, Ray Ray's Hustlers Energy lock pick of the week is Drake London versus Carolina. That's a great pick. Division game. I think that's a 1 o'clock game too. So make sure y'all had them lineup set before that one go in. My Hustlers Energy lock pick of the week, who I'm standing on business with. Now he's not on my team. I don't even know if I ever had McCaffrey, but Christian McCaffrey's my guy for this week. He playing Arizona. They got the 12th ranked run defense. Yeah, they got the 23rd ranked passing defense. He got almost 8 targets a game over the last 6 weeks. Had 8 catches in week 10. So he only had 12 rushes for 30 yards too against the Rams on Sunday. So if you lock up the run game, we're just gonna start throwing him the ball. So that's my Hustlers Energy lock pick of the week, who I'm standing on business with.
Yeah, McCaffrey have been super inefficient, super duper inefficient on the ground.
Yeah.
But when you get more targets than wide receivers, I mean, it still make for a mean fantasy back. We know that pass catching backs are gold, So I mean, if he getting 8 targets a game, but he's still gonna throw in 30, 40 plus rushing yards on top of that, you in for a double digit day. He's always likely to get into the end zone. So I like that pick. I had a chance to draft McCaffrey. I chickened out, and luckily I ended up in a trading for Bijan in that league. But Christian McCaffrey been doing this thing, and right now I probably would rather McCaffrey over Bijan, considering Tyler Algier keeps stealing my touchdowns.
Wait. Right now. Hold on. Hold on. November 10th. You'd rather Christian McCaffrey over Bijan.
Now that you say it out loud, I might have to put that trade in. I might have to see if I can get that done.
Oh, this is a deal that might need to be done.
This is a deal that might need to be done.
Bijan for Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah. Matter of fact, I can't do it today because I'm playing the guy who has them. And
but tomorrow morning that trade in.
Well, we in a nail biter. So and he'd have talked a little smack. So if I pull it out, I'm gonna talk my smack. So he might not want to do a deal with me, but that's a deal I would offer for sure.
Oh, hey, a deal getting done on the show, on the live.
When I said it, I'm like, you know what? That's a good move.
You in good position. You're in good position. I'm gonna just leave it at that. You're in good position.
Yeah. Until that clock hits 0.
Yeah.
I've lost plenty of fantasy heartbreakers with 30 seconds left in the game and a quarterback just heaving it, trying to get anything. So, we in a tight one, less than 10 points, deciding the game, and with a quarterback left to play, Jordan Love left to play. So, I'm hoping that Philly can get the ball back and run the clock out. If that's the case, I'll be a happy man. So we'll hold on to that. But yeah, I would definitely do that deal.
All right, so yeah, I'll let you find out on your own how the rest of this game go for your fantasy matchup.
Yeah.
My husband's energy lock pick of the week was Christian McCaffrey. He got a great matchup against Arizona division game. That's a 425 game on Sunday, 425 Eastern. So 325, or do y'all calculations accordingly for your time zone. Uh, and then Fantasy Ray, you had Drake London versus Carolina this week for week 11. So those some two great lock picks of the week. We'll keep y'all posted on see how that matchup go when we see y'all next week. And we finna transition to our last segment of the night, the question and answer segment. We got a few questions that hit the inbox. So we're gonna shoot them to Fantasy Ray, see which way he leaning on them. Very first one, should I trade Rome Dunze for Cortland Sutton?
When I first heard this, I was finna be like, why? Why would you ever do this deal? Like, this makes no sense. Who would even think about this? But then I kind of sat back and I'm like, nah, it's actually a good trade. Roman Doomsday from a talent perspective, way better than Sutton.
Way
But
better.
I think he's way better. Yeah, I think he's legit top end, maybe top 10 wide receiver in the league. But I think playing with Caleb Williams, some weeks you're gonna see that, and some weeks you're not. And then you go to Cortland Sutton, who's Mr. Consistency, except for this year, because Bo Nix is so inconsistent. So you trading for a number one receiver with an inconsistent quarterback in Cortland Sutton and Bo Nix, and really Troy Franklin might be taking that over. And then you got Rome Odunze, who between DJ Moore and Zacchaeus and Luther Burden and Swift and Loveland and Cole Kmet, sometimes he's getting his and sometimes he's not. But I tend to always lean with the talent. So if I got Rome Odunze, I wouldn't trade him for Cortland Sutton.
But if you getting Rome Dunze in that trade, you like that for Cortland Sutton. I think I lost you there.
You there, T. Will?
Yeah. I was saying, so if you trade, you would trade a Dunze for Cortland, but you would trade Cortland for a Dunze.
If I'm the Cortland manager, I don't know if I do it either.
Okay.
I think you're splitting hairs, really. Like I said, I lean with the talent. If I got Rome, I'm not trading him for Cortland Sutton. But if I got Sutton, I don't know if I'm really winning if I get Rome, unless I'm banking on the talent to win out. And we typically see with young players down the stretch, they tend to play better as we get closer to the playoffs. But Cortland Sutton's still getting plenty of targets. He's still a big part of what Denver trying to do. So I think both players, regardless of what side of the table I'm on, I'm probably holding.
Yeah. Okay. So that's probably a no-go on that Rome Dunze for Cortland Sutton trade. So we're gonna move it to Jacksonville. Is Basil Tootin worth stashing?
The words of Sandy Sharp. Nah.
It's a no from you, dog.
Nah. Maybe next year. Maybe next year is the Basil Tootin year. ETN has been pretty healthy. He's had a solid bounce back year. Unless you're an ETN manager, I don't see no reason why you would stash him. I'd rather roll the dice on a JCM or somebody cut him, a Chris Rodriguez, something like that, than to have Basil Tootin, who probably ain't gonna see much of the field going forward unless ETN get hurt.
All right, so he ain't worth a stash, or you might be a little too early on Basil Tootin. I can understand that. I was super early on Tajay Spears a couple years ago, so that was a waste. So I get it. And no point of wasting that roster spot for Basil Tootin right now. unless ETN get hurt. Y'all heard it from Fantasy Ray Ray. Our next question: what defense you looking for playoff matchups?
For playoff matchups, I like the Eagles defense. As we see with what they doing against the Packers, they tough. They made some big trades, and I think they're just leaning back on what got them a chip. They fortifying that defense. It's looking strong. They want to run the ball, control the clock, and I think as the playoffs come, we don't see a bunch of prolific scoring games down the stretch like that. I think the best teams start to play better, and the worst teams are kind of mailing it in for draft positioning. So I really like Phillies D if you can get your hands on them going into the playoffs.
It's a great point. Great point. So Philly D is a playoff defense looking up for matchups. They fortified the defense with the trades that they recently made at the trade deadline. They locking up Green Bay right now at 2nd and 10, minute 56 left. Jordan Love just had an incomplete pass. So they doing their thing right now. We're going to stay on the defense, but only for this week, for week 11. What defense you looking at the stream for week 11? Or what defense should someone stream for this week?
I mean, I like Atlanta. I like Atlanta. Yep, you got Bryce, who, while you hate to say this about any player, he's garbage. So, you going up against that kind of secondary, you're already struggling passing the ball. This a week Atlanta could feast. They could get some turnovers and possibly even score some touchdowns. So I like Atlanta week 11.
Atlanta week 11 against Carolina. That's a division game. They go to Atlanta for that one. So that should be a good game, or it might be in Atlanta's favor defensively. So we'll see. We'll try to keep y'all posted live, tweet that one during that game Sunday. Last question of the night. With Baltimore's upcoming games, is now the time to sell high on Derrick Henry?
Sell high? No. Buy low? Yes. We see it every year with Derrick Henry. He come down the stretch and he is a monster. He get down the stretch when the season is long, people banged up, and we got Lamar Jackson back. I think you about to see them really turn and lean on Derrick Henry, and he gonna start mowing people down. Yeah. So I think if you could buy low on him, speaking of, I like to do my these shows, put the trade ideas in my mind. I might have to go ahead and make a play for the King. See if I can go ahead and break them over.
Man.
See if I can enter somebody in a DeAndre Swift for Derrick Henry type of deal.
You think that'll get it done? That's enough?
I mean, Swift and been double digits in every game this year, I believe, maybe except one. And if you got Derrick Henry, you're feeling pretty disappointed. So maybe that don't get it done. Maybe I got to throw in a deal sweetener, but I definitely think you got to try something.
Yeah, that's a good point with Swift with the double digits, though. He might be a good basis of the trade for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So you'll do a deal sweetener, Swift and a deal sweetener for Henry. You like that?
Potentially, it depends on who's sweetening the pot.
Who's sweetening the pot for that? Give me a guy. Who would you take if you had Derrick Henry right now? If somebody
I wouldn't take nobody because I wouldn't be selling on them. But I'll flip it back to you. Okay. I'd be willing to part with DeAndre Swift and Brian Thomas Jr.
for Derrick Henry.
Because right now you're getting streamer production out of BTJ. You're getting RB2 production out of Swift. You're getting RB2 production out of Henry. The only difference is Henry's ceiling is just significantly higher than DeAndre Swift's. But right now,
I don't,
Swift's the better back.
I don't know if BTJ sweetened the deal like that though. Like, give me another guy. Give me another guy. Swift. I think Swift. I think Swift is a good foundation for the deal.
But that don't get the deal done for you.
I don't know if BTJ is the sweetener. I think. Hell, I even think something like Troy Franklin get the deal done. Swift and Troy Franklin would get that deal done.
But why? But I wouldn't do that deal. I wouldn't.
You
Put
wouldn't
Franklin
do that
in that deal.
Oh, no. You wouldn't put him in the deal. You wouldn't trade Franklin.
No, because to me, Franklin is at best taking over as wide receiver 1.
Yeah.
At worst, wide receiver 2 type production. He getting the targets, he getting the TDs. I think the name might not be as sexy as some other names, but the production, you can start Troy Franklin every week.
Yeah.
I'm not giving that up. It got to be the same scenario. BTJ went second round. He's underperforming, but if he picks it up, you rolling. And you're getting Swift on top of that. Versus Derrick Henry, if I get 11-point Derrick Henry the rest of the way, I'm not loving that. I'm rolling the dice as well. So that's the way I got to treat the trade. I can't lose on the trade. I can't potentially lose on the trade.
Just I got to hope Derrick that. Henry.
Yeah, so what I'm looking for with that Derrick Henry manager is he hurting that receiver? Is he hurting that tight end? Where is he hurting? And where can I help? If I can replace your back and give you some help, that might be something that I'm looking that can get it done. That's typically how I approach my deals is, can I get the better player back and part with a player that I don't necessarily need, but it helps you.
I don't know if BTJ help you though.
Well, I mean, let's say your receivers were Garrett Wilson and Terry McLaurin.
BTJ help you.
BTJ help you.
Yeah. Okay.
You know what I mean? So yeah. There's scenarios where you're like, man, I love BTJ, but
he helped me right now.
But right now, this is what I need to get me over the hump. Maybe your third receiver was Jacoby Myers, and you ain't been able to depend on that either. You know what I mean? So there's a way that BTJ, depending on how your team is set up, you looking at that, you're like, man, I could have another starting back, but now I get a receiver that I can put out here, and maybe he get right. Versus right now, I got just Henry, and he ain't right.
That's some good points. So that's might be a deal y'all want to think about. We got 10, 11, 12. So 5 weeks left for the season. So you got to start, making the moves, trying to position yourself for the playoffs. That was the last question of the night. But real quick before we break out of here, Philly up on Green Bay, 1:18 left. They got the ball, 3rd and 7. Philly got 2 timeouts. Green Bay don't have any timeouts, so if they play it smart, they should be able to run the game out. So we'll see. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna close out on that. That's a wrap on Week 10 recap, Week 11 preparation. We gave y'all the top performers from Week 10, the injury recap from Week 10, waiver gems, risk of the bench it, start sit calls. You know what I'm saying? And our lock picks coming up for Week 11. Make sure y'all follow the Hustle Sports Network on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, and on Twitter, X, formerly known as Twitter at the Hustle Sports Net. Make sure y'all rate the show, share it with your league mates, with your friends. Y'all found value in anything that we talk about. As y'all know, we appreciate all the hustlers, and I'm gonna pass it to Ray Ray one time. As you know, if you sleep,
you beat.
You beat. Hey. So y'all keep that energy up, and until next episode, we appreciate y'all. Y'all see y'all hustlers.
See you, hustlers.